So what do you call yourself? Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Hey.
Hey, what can I do for you this fine day?
This is your destiny. Hot, hot, hot.
Right now.
Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Come on in and enjoy yourself.
Right now.
We gon' party like no one else. Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Hello, hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Hold on a second. You tilted to the left. So I kind of need you to tilt to my right, and then yeah. I love it.
Got me?
Yes, I got you.
Okay.
Welcome to the hot seat in the tan line. I am so grateful that you decided to take time out of your schedule to join me. I'm in here right now trying to do some work. I showed up, it should be enough, but these people really expect me to work or whatever. So I said, well, let me get my professional homie in the hot seat, on the tan line. We're going to talk about some professional things and whatnot. What side of the world are you chiming in from?
I'm in LA right now.
Okay, from one LA to the next. I'm in Louisiana, so that counts.
Oh yeah, I love Louisiana.
Good. Well, we need to get you back soon because, now we're unveiling all of our king cakes. It's Mardi Gras. We got to get you some beads. Let you hit the thing.
I'm there for Mardi Gras.
Turn the beat up a little bit.
Gras like 5-6 years. It's been a while since I've been down there for Mardi Gras.
Yeah. Well, it's about that time.
Yeah.
You're no stranger to the world of entertainment, and I have a lot of questions that need answers. How did you know that you wanted to take entertainment from a hobby, from a passion to your purpose?
Honestly, I was around my friends and my friend's career was taking off and I just didn't want to be somebody who just sat there. I didn't want to be a yes man. I wanted to figure out how to implement myself and make something of myself to help the team grow. That's really how it started off. It wasn't like, oh, I want to be an A&R. Oh, I want to help produce music. I want to find producers. It wasn't none of that. It literally just started from trying to help my friends and trying to be part of the solution and not just there.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, you didn't just take helping as a passion. You really turned that into a career that skyrocketed. Like, hey, man, listen, if he put his mind to flying a skyrocket, we're all out of this joint together. Speaking of not just wanting to be an A&R, you're the former A&R of urban music at Interscope Records. So you have been impactful to some of those who have really hit the scene running, and you played an intricate role in that. What was one of the biggest tasks for you in saying, I see something in this person that I need to bring out to really give to the world?
For me, when I was growing up, one of the coolest things for me was seeing an artist for the first time. Finding out about an artist, trying to do research on that artist, see and get to know everything about them and where they come from. So it was like trying to find the right talent to push out that same way. And so when a new person found out about an artist, they're excited about it, excited to dive into them, to hear about their background, hear about their story, hear about their life, and not just about a song.
I love it. And, people need to hear that because now we live in this microwave generation to where people don't really have a story. They came up with something, it was a hot topic, and next thing you know, everybody's on and popping. It's just like, that's cool, that's fine, that's the time. But what is that backstory? What is it that keeps you going? Who did you ride around listening to that inspired you, influenced you? Because whoever influenced you will become, the person that you influence. And it's just like an ongoing situation. So building that, even as an artist yourself, because you out here making the world move right now.
I appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. Yeah, for me, it's really just, it's about the artist. Like the first album I ever bought was the Carter 2.
Uh-huh.
I was in high school. I was probably like in 9th grade. And it was something about that album. Then I literally read the cover from back to back, every page. I had like my first computer, had like a little Toshiba notebook, old school computer. And I just would like type in everybody's name on the back. That was around Lil Wayne's name. Oh, this person is from here. This
Uh-huh.
person, wow, this person produced this. Wow. It was just, and as I was finding that out, it was like history class, but better. And
Right, because now this is a real interest.
right. And it was
Yeah.
like, these are people who are around my age. These are people a little older than me who are successful and they're just living out their dreams. And it's so crazy because a lot of those people weren't that old.
Right.
So
Right.
it made it feel more tangible. It made it feel more real. And then once I was in the background with YG and Mustard and I was paying attention, I would ask questions. I would try to bring people. Oh, I met this person. Oh, have you heard of this rapper, Dom Kennedy? I'm trying to bring him to the studio. And it was like small things like that that just got bigger and bigger.
Yeah. And as you began to build your village and your network and then the net worth, all of it just started growing. But it's just like, if you don't do that research to see who's working, you begin to start pulling or beating a dead horse. But when everybody brings their own energy, it's just bananas, you know,
Right.
and even being the professional homie and getting everything done. I want to hear about this. I got issues, because I think we all got issues, right? And right now I'm trying to subscribe, because you got to read the fine print with me, period. At your
Now,
own risk, there's a warning. It is what it is, but I got issues. Tell me about some of the thought process that went into that body of work.
it was really just about honesty. I feel like, and we both feel like a lot of things have changed over the past years. The consumption of music changed over the past years.
Yeah.
Artists really stopped really diving in and making albums about their self and their struggle and started just trying to make songs. Either
Yeah.
the artist fully doing very depressing music or the artists are just making music and just living. YG was like, it's been a while for him since he let people in. We worked on My Crazy Life and Still Brazy and albums like that. They were more closer in, more honest about not just about making music, but about telling his truth and telling his story.
Now, being
And
that he said he took a break from that, was that on purpose? Was there a point where being so transparent worked against him and he felt like, man, look, I just need to start backing people up off me for a minute? What brought that about?
I would say as an artist, you go through cycles and
Yeah.
you go through moods, and as you tend to level up, you start to guard certain things. And you get
Especially the things you love.
exactly. And then you get to a place where it's like, all right, I have to make sure that I'm connecting directly to my fans, not just to people who like me or like this song, because me being an artist isn't about a song. It's about understanding me and telling my story. And we was working on this album, YG was like, yeah, I want to let people back in. So as we talked and all the things we were writing down, all the topics, it was just more honest based. It wasn't just about having money. It wasn't just about this car that I just got. It was like, okay, I've been stuck in the house for 2 years during the pandemic, you know, and it's crazy because the rest of the world was halfway open, a quarter open, semi open, like, but
Yeah,
people don't
confused about what open is and the new norm looks like.
like, but for 2 years, California was really locked down. Like you seen people outside a little bit or little house parties here or there, but it was like our world was completely shut down. You were
Yeah.
with your family or not. You worked from home, like, or you did, like, everything was very, very, very in a box. And it was like, all right, coming out of that, I just don't want to make. Let me let you guys know what's going on.
Yeah.
So it was more about honesty and letting people dive into him and letting people know, like, yeah, I'm here. Yes, I have this success, but don't get it twisted. Like, I'm still human. I still
Yeah.
have I'm still vulnerable. I still have things that I go through on a daily basis.
And people need to hear that, because sometimes they feel as if when you make it to a certain scale of success, whatever that looks like in whichever arena that may be, that the struggle stops, or that you automatically just get a pass, or even when things come your way, you could just buy or scheme your way past it. And that's not true. During the pandemic, let me tell you something. I think that slowed the world down, because that was the most time I've ever spent with myself. And some of the stuff I was like, Tan, it's cool. Some of the stuff I'm like, Tan, you need to work on this right now. But that gave us enough time to be transparent enough with ourselves and to stop masking it with the people we're around, stop masking it with the routine that we're accustomed to, and to really tap into our creativity, but giving us a sense of security to be able to really just pull that off, but while you're being trapped inside and the world shutting down, and you know that your level of creativity inspires others, what kept you inspired?
Honestly, music. And the artists who I work with were all trying to dive into a new chapter themselves.
Yeah.
And for me, I was diving into a new chapter of myself. Towards the end of the pandemic is when I decided to leave Interscope. And leaving Interscope, I opened my own studio in Hollywood.
Congratulations.
So that was a wonderful experience for me. But the pandemic taught me a lot, because before the pandemic, I had, outside of music, I had a small sprinter company. I had 2 sprinters. When the pandemic hit, they were both on the road. One of them was on tour with a little band. When their tour got stopped in like, I want to say it was in DC.
Mm-hmm.
And they literally left my sprinter there.
Stop.
Went home.
Stop.
It took me like a month to get my sprinter. And by the time I got to my sprinter to get it back to LA, it was nothing to bring back.
Wow.
So like finding out and dealing with things like that. I had just opened up, I'm very into vintage clothes. So I had just opened up a vintage store on Pico in LA, like right across the street from Roscoe's.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. That's not a pandemic proof business. It was like crazy. I built out the store for like 6-7 months. I opened in December, and the pandemic started in March.
Yeah.
And then it was like, all right, I'm not gonna let it go. I just started this business, and then having a business that's about people coming in, about people, like vintage clothes isn't one of those things where it's like, all right, I got 12 of these.
Yeah, and it's not an online, the mass is searching for you. It's like, it's a search and find of a hidden jewel.
Exactly. So like trying to start and create something like that in a weird space, it was horrible. So after like a year of still keeping the building and still trying to figure it out, and then they did the little thing where they kind of opened this up, but they said you can only have, depending on how many square feet you have, you can only have so many people and this and that. And it was like all the guidelines. And then my employee had caught COVID. And she was down for like 2 months, and it was like, you know what, maybe I just need to recess this whole thing.
Yeah.
And within that, the studio idea came up, and it's more of a flowing business that really can't stop. So like just figuring out other ways and sources to make money during the pandemic that are somewhat more pandemic proof.
Mm-hmm.
And losing 2 businesses in the pandemic, it just showed me like, okay, you really got to think out the box when you're creating something, because you don't know what can happen tomorrow.
Yeah, all of the outside entities that affect and impact. But it's like, it wasn't a complete wash, because you learned so much during that time.
Great.
And it was very much ahead of its time. But when it circles back, now you're ready. Now the stuff that you didn't even think of, you're foolproof to, like, oh yeah, I got this. This is no sweat. I know how to put different tracking devices and other stipulations, and we go into DC to knock on their door if they leave our van the next time. Whoo, I got you. Whatever you need. It's a walk by. We're gonna get this van back in time, okay? But those are the things. But God wanted you to see that your efforts didn't go in vain, and that studio was something that you needed to birth, because that's an extension of who you are. And that's something that the creativity will not die in, because even if it's you in that studio producing and sending it out to other people, then that's what you need to do. But you needed that space, you know, and that was really what birthed out of that. And I'm excited for you. I'm going to be your next victim, your next client. I'm booking some time. I'm coming through. It's a field trip.
Hang out.
Period, honey, period. You know, as an artist myself, I really appreciate when people don't just fold, and they understand that everybody has a story to tell. They see one side of what you do, but they don't understand the other things that you do and how all of it works together. You know, so I applaud you in that. And I wish you no less than the best. I know that you also have your hand in the tech world. And I'm gonna need a follow-up on that. I mean, the tech, that brain of yours never stopped working. So
yeah. I mean, getting to tech, it was like, it was very random for me. But I grew up playing Mario and things like that, and it was a random time one day, and I literally was sketching, just doodling, and I'm doodling like a little dude. Then I just start doodling like little landmarks in LA. And then something just said, you know, I should make this.
why
I should
not?
make it. So that's when I did a little research, and I was trying to find developers and app developers, and it was like a very difficult process, because everybody like, oh yeah, I can make that app. 20,000. It's like, yo, I'm trying to do a free app, $60,000.
What?
Yeah. Instagram is such an amazing place. I had wrote on Instagram, I want to start an app looking for a young, hungry developer.
Yeah.
And I connected with this guy named Ivan. He was dope. I had my homegirl Rachel, who also helped me design and sketch out all the people and the landmarks and stuff like that. And we just brought it together because the game is centered around my life. It's called Hop Out Streets of LA. And it's really about staying sucker free and getting your money in the city. So through the game, you tend to see different landmarks and different notable places in Los Angeles, but the game gets a little faster, and there's things that gets in your way to try to stop you from getting to your dollar.
Yeah.
But stay focused, stay on a plan, and get to the money.
Get to the money.
And that's what Hop Out is about.
I love it. And you know what? It's just like, that's the startup. And if I were to ask you what's next for the professional homie, would you even know where to start?
No, I'm trying to do everything, but I will tell you that in the next 10 years, when you come through LA, you will be able to see a PushaRod Fridays, a PushaRod Boost Mobile, PushaRod T-Mobile. I want to live out and join a lot of franchises. One of the coolest people to me growing up was Magic Johnson, because no, I didn't come up in the Magic Johnson era. I couldn't tell you anything about a single Magic Johnson basketball game. But
none of the stats, none of those memorable moments, none of the things that he is on the forefront for the most.
Exactly. But I can tell you about what the Magic Johnson Theater meant to me, or with TGI Friday, like, you know, going there as a kid with your family, knowing that this is a Black-owned franchise, that he bought into this franchise for us.
Yeah.
That's the goal for me. I just want to join as many franchises and bring as many things and light to LA as possible while I'm on this earth.
That's perspective, and your level of transparency and telling people about the issues. And, you know, I have my organization, Poof, Power Over Obstacles Forever. You look at that obstacle and you tell it, poof, be gone, because that's just what it is. It's in the moment, but we have the power over that obstacle forever, especially when we put things into perspective. And if God grants us a vision, he grants us the provision, and we have to walk that out. You know?
You have to
walk it out.
get through.
I'm extremely proud of you. And Guys need to see that it's okay to be innovative. It's okay to take those L's. They're not losses, they're lessons.
That's everything is a lesson. As long as you're still here on this earth and you still have energy in your body to fight, everything is a lesson. And I believe as long as we look at everything as a lesson, we will continue to thrive. Because even I don't feel like anything has failed me. I don't think it just was before its time. Or I needed to educate myself more. So when I dive back into it, it's going to be even better. But Cycle will be back, and this time we will be on Melrose.
I like it, and I'm coming. So if you find any of those vintage pieces, just put them to the side. Say, Tan gonna need this one, she gonna need that one. Think of me first. That's all I'm saying, because I'm gonna hop out.
I love them vintage pieces, so I got you.
And if there's ever anything that's going on that you need to jump in a hot seat on the Tan line, I want you to think of this as an extension of your office. I'm here, you're there, but the world has opened up to the point to where we can always communicate and make what we need happen. How can we keep up with you and your movement and everything that's PushaRod?
You can follow me on socials. Everything is PushaRod, PushaRod. I have a lot of exciting things coming out very, very soon. I have an announcement that I'm making for an artist on Monday. So I'm looking forward to that also.
I love it. Congratulations in advance. Upward and forward. I know you got work to do, so I'm gonna let you chase the sun or let the sun chase you. But either way, get after it. I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. You heard me?
Get to it. Today is our LA show. We sold out the Forum. I'm about to be headed up there in about an hour. My gang is already headed down from the Bay. I actually haven't been on this tour because I've been dealing with other things, but I'm so excited to be back with them today. So
that's good. Man, look, elevation. We hit now we're up in the big league. That's good. You have a killer show tonight, and I can't wait to hear all about it. You be safe out there, all right?
Thank you so much. You too. Have a blessed one.
You too. Thank you so much.